All right, let's continue on with Unit 2 and look today specifically at solving two-step inequalities and then graphing the solution. As I mentioned in the last video, the steps here are the same as solving equations with that one added thing you need to be careful of, and I'm going to highlight it right here. Remember, if you multiply or divide the variable by a negative, you must flip the inequality symbol. And then also, just to refresh your memory, when we graph these on a number line, an open point is when you have a less than or greater than symbol, and a closed point is when you have a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to symbol. Okay, and we'll also try to make sure our solution is written so that the variable is on the left side. So two-step inequalities, I didn't leave a ton of room here, so I apologize for those of you who write a little bit bigger, but you can go off to the side if we need to. But first problem, we're going to start by putting a line through our inequality sign, and then I'm actually going to highlight my variable. And I'm going to do this because we talked in the last unit about not being able to touch the part that has the variable until we cancel the other stuff by it. So if I look at this, I have -5 is greater than or equal to 2p minus 1. Now, since the -5 is alone, we don't want to do anything with that. We need to look at the side with the p and figure out how we cancel that -1. So the opposite of -1 is adding 1 to both sides. So -5 plus 1 is -4. And then my -1 and +1 cancel. So I have -4 is greater than 2p. And then my second step is whenever I have a number in front of a variable, we're going to divide on both sides by that number to get -2 and p. And then just like we did in the last lesson, we need to check to see if we divided or multiplied the variable by a negative number. In this problem, we divided, but since it was a +2 that we divided by, we don't have to worry about flipping our sign. Okay, so this is what our final answer looks like. We did do this in the last problem in the last lesson. I like to have my p first. So if I switch this around, so my p comes first and my -2 comes second, I do need to flip my inequality sign. So my final answer is p is less than -2. I'm going to label -2. I'm going to do, whoops, helps if I go the correct direction. I'm going to label -2, -4, -6. I'm going to do 0 and 2. And you don't have to label every number. It's good. Like I said, I just like to at least have 3 numbers on my number line. Remember, this is an open dot because there's not an equal sign. And then the arrow or the inequality sign tells me I need to shade to the left. To go ahead and get started with the next one, I'm going to go ahead and draw my line through the inequality sign so that it's splitting my inequality in half. And I need to get my r alone, so I need to cancel the -3 and the -5. So remember, we're going to put our pencil on our r. We can't do anything with that -3 yet because it's closest to the r. We need to take care of that -5 first. So the opposite of -5 is adding 5. So I'm left with -3r is less than, and then 25 plus 5 is 30. And then we're going to divide by -3 on both sides. Don't add 3, common mistake there. So I'm left with r. These cancel, those cancel. 30 divided by -3 is -10. And then we do need to check to see if we need to flip the inequality symbol. So when we look at that last step, when we divided, we did divide our variable by a negative number. So we do need to flip our sign over. So I'm going to go ahead and label -10, -8, -6, -12, -14. This also has an open dot because there's not an equal sign. And once we flipped our sign, we actually have to shade to the right in this one. And again, the most common mistake is really that students forget to flip their sign in this. Okay, next one, line through the inequality sign, and then we are going to start solving. This one's a little different, and I know this caught people off guard on some of our tests for Unit 1, but this time I can't do anything with that -3 yet because I need to get rid of my fraction since it's on top of my fraction. So what we're going to do is get rid of the division by multiplying by -2 on both sides. So I'm going to do times -2 on both sides because this is really dividing by -2. So those two cancel. I'm bringing down my c minus 3, and then 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then I also want to pay attention to my variable side. Notice, whoops, I missed that piece. We'll highlight that there. Notice that I multiplied my variable side by negative 2 when I was solving. So that means I do need to flip my inequality symbol over. Okay. Now I'm left with c minus 3 is less than or equal to negative 4. The inverse of subtracting 3 is adding 3 to both sides. So we have c on the left side. I added instead of multiplying or dividing, so I don't have to worry about flipping my sign, and negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. So I'm just labeling a few numbers. I'm going by 2's. This time I'm going to have a closed dot at negative 1, and I'm going to shade to the left because my variable is first. Okay, last one, drawing my line through my inequality sign. And I need to get the variable by itself, so I'm going to just highlight that there in orange. Can't do anything with the divided by 2 until we get rid of the plus 1 by subtracting 1 from both sides. So on the left side they cancel. We're left with w divided by 2 is less than or equal to 2. 3 minus 2 gives, or 3 minus 1 gives me 2. And then because this is a fraction, dividing by 2, the opposite is multiplying by 2. And those two cancel. So I have w and 4. Let's just check quickly to see if we need to flip our inequality sign. So when I multiplied by 2 on both sides, it was a positive that I was multiplying by, so I don't need to worry about flipping that over. Okay, again, I'm going by 2's just to save myself a little bit of time and space. I have a closed dot here because it has the equal to bar, and that does tell me I'm shading to the left because it's less than. That's it for 2.2. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.